Hi friends, welcome to An Abundance of Books. My name is Julia and today we're doing the mid-year book Freakout Tech. Do we need any preamble? You're on booktube, you know what's going on. Oh, the only preamble that I have is I'm not going to repeat books or try to say multiple things for each answer. So sometimes these may not be my true answer, but it's because it answers it for something else. We're going to talk about everything that I want to talk about is the point. Question number one is, what is the best book that you've read so far this year? It is this beauty right here, Everything I Never Told You by Celeste. This is going to go down as one of my favorite books of all time. It is about a Chinese American family living in Ohio in the 70s, and their 17-year-old daughter Lydia is found dead. So it is sort of the investigation trying to figure out what happened to her, but it's mostly a character study about the lives of her family that she left behind and all of the things that they never told each other. It is beautiful and heartbreaking and I love it so much. These are some of the most real characters to me and I love all of them. And I pre-ordered Celeste Ng's new book, which is coming out in the fall. October? November? Who cares? It's pre-ordered. It'll get here when it gets here. Question number two is the best sequel that you've read so far, and my notes didn't narrow it down at all. It just listed literally every single sequel that I've read. I'm going to go with Heartstopper Volume 2 by Oseman. This is kind of a cheat answer because I read all three of the first volumes back to back, so they all kind of meld together in my brain. But this is my favorite of the series, so I feel like that counts. You know what Heartstopper is about, Nick and Charlie falling in love. This book focuses a lot more on Nick, who I love. We all love Nick Nelson and will protect him at all costs. So I think that's why this one edges out the first one for me. Question three is a new release that you haven't read but want to. Insomnia by Sarah Pinborough. This is one of my most anticipated books of the year. It's a 5-star prediction. Behind Her Eyes by Sarah Pinborough was one of my best of last year. So there's a lot riding on this book. As you can see, there is a bookmark in it. It is on page 3. I tried to read this while I was on vacation and I just couldn't get into it. My brain wasn't there, so I'm gonna buckle down and maybe read it next. Question 4 is your most anticipated book for the second half of the year. I forgot that was a question or I wouldn't have mentioned Celeste Ng's new book called Our Missing Hearts, I think. I'm gonna go with kind of a weird one and say The Hookup Plan by Farrah Rochon. This is the third book in a romance series. You don't have to read all of them in order, but like the first one does kind of do the setup. But this third book is going to be featuring London, who is my favorite character of the group. So I'm just really excited to see her romance. She's a doctor. Who's she gonna date? Is it gonna be another doctor? Do we get a Grey's book? It's just a series that I've really been enjoying and I'm so excited to get to it. I think it comes out in August. Biggest disappointment, I have 2 answers. The first is Silver Serpents by Roshani Chokshi. This is the second book in the Gilded Wolves trilogy and it's bad. It's just not a good continuation of the first one. It drags so much. There's new characters introduced. Like, it doesn't have any of the charm of the first one and it was super disappointing. But I have 2 answers because I'm bitter. Portrait of a Thief by Grace D. Lee. This is a huge disappointment because I had been anticipating it so highly. It was on my TBR and I was just like waiting for the library to get it in. And then it was chosen as a book of the day. And so I decided to just pay a whole, I think it was $37, and I hated it. I really don't like this book. I hate a book that folds on its premise. The heists are basically fade to black in here. Don't even get me started. But I just found this super disappointing overall. Question number 6 is your biggest surprise, which is so easy for me. It is Ice Planet Barbarians by Ruby Dixon. I just read the sequel too, and this one is equally amazing. These are such a surprise because I thought that I knew what I was getting into, just like, you know, alien smut, basically. But there's actually, and I know it sounds like I'm lying and like trying to convince myself, but it's true. There's like world building in here and interesting dynamics and politics, and it's really well done. I was describing something that happens in this book to my husband about the cootie transfer basically, and he's like, that sounds like a horror book. And I'm like, yeah, and it pulls it off. It's funny, it's charming, it's sexy. I am so sold on these, and I've already pre-ordered the third book, which comes out next month. I've never pre-ordered this much in my life. I don't know who she is. Next question is your new favorite author, debut or new to you? I'm going to go with Vivek Shraya because I have read 2 books by her, and that's sort of the only thing that I think qualifies it. I tried to go with math, but I do love Vivek Shraya. Her 2 books I've read are I'm Afraid of Men and People Change. I sort of see those as a collection, and I'm really excited for more in that. She is a trans femme Canadian, just sort of talking about her thoughts and experiences and stuff, and I just love her writing. I love how she thinks about things just like in a way that I haven't seen expressed like that. There may be someone else I could pick for a new favorite author, but I don't think there's anyone else. I've read 2 of their books this year. Question 8 is newest fictional crush, which I would like to suggest that we change it to new favorite ship. I feel like everyone has a ship that they feel very strongly about, but I did come up with a new fictional crush. It's the hot lawyer from Finlay, Donovan. Just the way that they talk about the hot lawyer is very fun, and he's less present in the second book. Like, there's meta commentary about like, we want more hot lawyer. And yeah, we want more hot lawyer. Will he turn out to be a bad guy? Almost certainly, but that's nothing if not my type. The next question is newest favorite character, and I am picking Parisa from The Charm Offensive. She is Charlie's publicist friend. She's incredible. She's just like the hippie aunt that you want in your life. Every line that she has is hilarious, and I love her so much. I know that this isn't going to be a series, but I need just a book where she's the main character. Or maybe not. Maybe she wouldn't work very well as a main character, but like I need more of her. Question number 10 is a book that made you cry. I cry quite a bit in books. Like, I don't even remember if a book made me cry because like it probably did. But the one that made me cry the most was Just Haven't Met You Yet by Sophie Cousens. This is a nice romance book, and then oops, bawling my eyes out. This was also a recommendation from a friend, so I was texting her the whole time being like, what have you done to me? But this is a romance about a woman. What is her name? I should probably know her name, but I don't. But anyway, she is on a trip to figure out some stuff about her past, and she meets a bunch of people on the island of Jersey. Not New Jersey, Old Jersey, which is like nice and quaint. And all of the people that she meets there are lovely, and there's some like beautiful and sad moments there, and that's another one of my new favorite books of all time, I think. It's just, everyone go read it, please. Question 11 is a book that made you happy, and that is an easy answer. Dial A for Aunties by Jessie Q. Sutanto is just like the most laugh out loud hilarious thing you've ever read. It is also the most stressful reading experience that I've had in a very long time. How does she do it? How does she balance those 2 things? This is the story of a woman who accidentally murders someone and then gets all of her aunties to help her cover it up. And it's hilarious. The characters are so funny, and like the story is absolutely ridiculous, but it's the most fun. Question 12 is what is the most beautiful book that you have bought so far? And I'm going to pick a book that arrived today. Look at it. Can you even? This is On a Sunbeam by Tillie Walden. I heard this pitched to me as Gay Boarding School in Space, the graphic novel, and I immediately bought it. The spine is gorgeous too. Like, it's this beautiful and like a hardcover, but without a dust jacket. What do they call that? Paper on board, I think. Can you even? It's over 500 pages, but I wanted it, so I bought it. I know I'm a broken record that graphic novels usually don't work for me, but somehow I keep buying them. So we'll see. Question 13 is what books do you need to read by the end of the year? So I grabbed my handy dandy notebook where I have all of my 5-star predictions and my must read for 2022. I have read not enough of these. I guess my 5 stars I don't technically have to read in a year, and there's enough must read 2022. Those books include The Doll Factory by Elizabeth McNeil, The Princess Beard by Delilah S. Dawson and Kevin Hearn, Piranesi by someone, and The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. So a lot. Like, those are all hard books to read too. I've been putting them off. There's only 5 must read 2022 and I've read one of them. Question 14 is the favorite video that you've done this year. I would say all of my categories, TBRs, those do really well for the channel and they're really fun to film and plan, and it's a good time. Though I do also want to mention my anniversary vlog, which features my husband anytime that he's in a video. It's nice. And then question 15 is your favorite book community members. I think the only new person that I've started following this year is Pips Pages. She is an old booktuber who has come back. She's not old, she just hasn't posted in a couple years, but she's back now and I love her content and I watch everything that she puts out. That is it for the mid-year book freakout tag. I hope that you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, comment, do all the algorithmic things, and I will see you very soon in another video.